Okay, we're good.
Okay, we'll call this special town meeting to order. At this point, I will call for nominations for moderator.
Like Jerry, I'll nominate Kevin Dombrowski.
Are there any other nominations? All right. There's a second to the nomination, I should say
I
first.
second that, Counselor Rodriguez.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Do I hear a motion to close nominations?
Motion to close nominations.
Is there a second?
Second, Counselor Psalms.
All those in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
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 All those in favor of electing Kevin Dombrowski as moderator signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. At this point, I'll ask Roxanne to read the call to the meeting.
A special town meeting of the electors and citizens qualified to vote in town meetings of the town of Ledger, Connecticut will be held virtually on February 9th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom video conference. And the video link and the audio telephone number were included in the legal notice for the following purpose: to consider and discuss and vote upon a resolution adopted by the town council on January 12th, 2022. A, for various school improvement projects, including replacement of roofs at the central office, Galesbury School, and Juliet W. Long School, installation of solar equipment at Galesbury School and Juliet W. Long School, upgrades to building management systems at the Galesbury School, and electrical and HVAC upgrades at Juliet W. Long School. The appropriation may be spent for the design, engineering, and construction costs, equipment, materials, legal fees, net interest on borrowing and other financing costs, and other expenses related to the project or its financing. The permanent municipal building committee shall be the school building committee for the project. The town council is authorized to determine the scope and particulars of the project. The town council may reduce or modify the scope of the project, and the entire appropriation may be spent on the project as so reduced or modified. B, to authorize the issue of bonds or notes or obligations of the town in the amount not to exceed $6,725,000, to provide that the amount of bonds or notes or obligations authorized to be issued shall be reduced by any grants received for the project, to authorize the issue and renewal of temporary notes of the town in the amount not to exceed of $6,725,000 in anticipation of such bonds or notes. C, to determine or authorize the mayor, director of finance, and the treasurer, or any two of them of the town, to determine the amounts, dates, interest rates, maturities, redemption provisions, form, and other details of the bonds or notes or obligations, to make representations and enter written agreements for the benefit of holders of the bonds or notes or obligations, to provide secondary market disclosure information, which agreements may include such terms as they deem advisable or appropriate in order to comply with the applicable laws or rules pertaining to the sale or purchase of such bonds or notes or obligations, and to perform all other acts which are necessary or appropriate to issue the bonds or notes or obligations. D, to take such action to allow temporary advancement of available funds, which the town reasonably expects will be reimbursed from the proceeds of borrowing, and to authorize the mayor, director of finance, and the treasurer, or any two of them, to bind the town pursuant to such representations and covenants as they deem necessary or advisable in order to maintain the continued exemption from federal income taxation or interest of bonds or notes or obligations. Authorize the resolution if issued on a tax-exempt basis, including covenants to pay rebates of investment earnings to the United States in future years. E, to authorize the building committee for the project to approve design and construction expenditures, to contract with engineers, contractors, and others on behalf of the town for said project. F, to authorize the Board of Education to apply for and accept federal and state grants to finance the appropriation for the project. To to authorize the mayor, the director of finance, and the treasurer, the Board of Education, the building committee for the project, and other proper officers of the town to take all other actions which is necessary or desirable to complete the project and to issue bonds or notes to finance the aforesaid appropriation. The full text of the resolution is on file with the town clerk. Pursuant to Section 9 of Chapter 7 of the Town Charter, to adjourn this said town meeting at its conclusion and to submit the aforesaid resolution and to vote at referendum to be held on February 22nd, 2022, between the hours of 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. The resolution under item 1 of this notice will be placed on the voting machines under the following heading. Shall the town of Ledyard appropriate $6,725,000 for various school improvement projects and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the said appropriation? Voters approving the resolution will vote yes, and those opposing the resolution shall vote no. Voting will be held at the following polling places: District 1, Town Hall Annex District; District 2, Town Hall Annex Building; District 3, Town Hall Annex Building. Persons qualified to vote in town meetings who are not electors shall vote in person at the Town Hall Annex Building with District 1. Absentee ballots will be available from the town clerk's office, dated at Ledyard, Connecticut, this 13th day of January, for the Ledyard Town Council, Kevin J. Dombrowski, Ledyard Town Council, and Patricia A. Riley, Town Clerk. This was published in the New London Day on Monday, January the 31st, 2022.
Okay, thank you. At this point, I'll call for someone to make the motion.
This is Counselor Solms. I move that the town of Ledyard adopt the following resolution adopted by the town council on January 12, 2022. The resolution is appropriating $6,725,000 for various school improvement projects and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation.
Is there a second?
Second, Counselor Ryan.
Okay, thank you. Bill, could you please provide the
Yep.
presentation?
I'll provide some details. So we have two school buildings whose roofs are at the end of their life, and we have been planning for this for many years, and the big issue was the money. So the roof replacements are the Gales Ferry School, Juliet Long School, as well as the Board of Education Central Office, and we're also doing projects on the Town Hall and the Annex Building. Along with the roofs on Juliet Long and Gales Ferry School, we're installing solar panels that the town will own on Gales Ferry School and the Juliet Long School, which will, we believe, allow us to save more money in electrical costs than if we had leased those from a solar leasing panel company, solar panel leasing company. We also have several HVAC and electrical upgrades for Juliet Long. We've got a building management system for the Gales Ferry School, and in total, the cost is $6.725 million. 61% of it is school roofs, 31% is solar panels, and we are planning to pay for this with bond authorization notes and then full bonds. Also, we are applying for grants to pay, and I'm looking for the percentage that's paid for out of grants. I'm struggling to find that.
I think it was around 31%, but maybe Mr. Hartling can verify that.
This is Mr. Arling. It's approximately 65% for the school roofs, and then the BOE building is a reduced percentage.
Thank you. As stated in the public notice, we hold the town meeting on this, and then we adjourn to a referendum later this month. The town buildings can be approved by a town meeting. The school projects, because they're more than 5% of the total budget or the tax levy, they have to be approved by the townspeople at this town meeting, as well as the townwide referendum on February 23rd, I think, whatever it is, whatever we said in the notice.
22nd.
22nd, thank you.
Okay.
Um,
That it?
Yeah, one more thing, just to underscore the end of life, I forgot to mention one of the roofs are being taken care of with 5-gallon buckets in the attic. They're leaking that badly.
Superintendent Hartland or Mr. Donaldson, is there anything you would like to add?
Mr. Arling, no, just this is critical end of life for all three of those buildings. And this is an opportunity also to, as we replace the roof, also address our ongoing efforts as reduce our electricity cost. And so the solar panels will assist with that. And then lastly, providing adequate HVAC system at the Juliet Long School, which has been talked about for many years as well. All of this has been in the capital project list, I think. Mr. Counselor Soms could probably correct me most, but I think it's been in there for 4 or 5 years, and we're waiting to hit the threshold so that we can cover state building grant.
Longer, I believe.
Okay, thank you. At this point, I will open the floor to public comment. I will ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there any citizens who would like to provide any comments or residents?
I could, Mike Cherry. 5 Whippoorwill Drive in Gales Ferry, I'd like to confirm both Superintendent Hartling and Counselor Soms' opinion. These have been on the capital plan for about a decade for the earliest one, and it's just a matter of moving them to the right time to do it. If we're putting roofs on, solar panels are absolutely the right thing to do at that point for those 2 schools. Bringing Juliet Long into the 22nd century, I think we are now, with an upgrade to electrical and high vac is important. It keeps our infrastructure intact. And I think every time we put in a new high vac system, we learn more about building management systems. So fixing that at Gales Ferry is also important. And I'm happy to see these moving towards being funded after talking about them for so many capital improvement projects over the years. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else like to make comments? Seeing none, I will adjourn this town meeting to the voting machines. With the question is that shall the town of Ledger appropriate $6,725,000 for various school improvement projects and authorizing the issuance of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation? Voting will be held at the following polling places: District 1, Town Hall Annex Building; District 2, Town Hall Annex Building; District 3, Town Hall Annex Building. Persons qualified to vote in town meetings who are not electors shall vote in person at the Town Hall Annex Building with District 1. Absentee ballots will be available from the town clerk's office. And with that, I will adjourn this town meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Roxanne, we got to log off and log on to the other meeting.